Yesterday, we talked about the difference between a jumbo jet that carries people and a paper airplane. And the challenge is some of us want to build the jumbo jet that can carry people or even fly that jumbo jet, but we've not yet demonstrated an ability to fly or even build a paper airplane. So let's work backward from a specific goal. Let's say one of our challenges is, and this one's going to be kind of one of those weird, softer goals. And I say softer because it isn't necessarily going to be time bound, and it might even be hard to measure when you hear the goal that I'm going to work on. So the goal is, how do I cut down on the distractions that get in the way of me getting the work done that I need to get done? How do I cut down on some of those distractions, those things that pull me in a different direction? I want to reduce distractions, and I want to maintain focus. Okay, how do I do this? Well, if you've been around me long enough, you know one of the ways that I like to create focus is through lines of clarity, and that's that territory plan model. And you're basically coming up with 4 to 5 binary statements, yes/no statements, that start to kind of create a line of clarity that run perpendicular to each other so that we can create an area of focus. And if you'd like to go into that, just check out any of the work that we've done around territory plan or creating focus through lines of clarity. So we want to reduce distractions. We want to be able to maintain focus. How do we go through it? Well, let's first do an assessment. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to assess current state. Let's understand really, what is the current state? How are we really getting distracted, or are we actually just in a situation where we're trying to do too much? So number one, let's assess current state. Number two, let's go ahead and understand what our desired state is. Where do we want to go? So first, again, 3-pronged strategy to go out and do this, get this work done. Understand what assess our current state, determine what our desired state is, and then once we've identified we know our current state, we know what our desired state is, then let's start to look at, are there systems, and remember, systems are the combination of process and tools. Are there systems that we can use to help do this? Are there things that we can eliminate that are ultimately creating noise? One of the things that can create a lot of noise is this little thing. And for those of you who aren't watching the video, and this is Whiteboard Wednesday, so you should be watching the video, it's a phone. The phone has a number of distractions. I get messages that might pop up on here. I actually have all of my notifications turned off on the phone. And the reason I turn off all of my notifications, audio notifications, is so that I don't hear a buzzing or a ringing or any kind of beeping to distract me. But when I need to be distracted or want to be distracted, then I can quickly go and see key notifications that I'm interested in just by dragging down those notifications. One of them might be a calendar notification. So the first step that I want to do is, number one, assess. Second thing I want to do, number two, is create. Know what that desired state is. And then the third thing I want to do is go out there and see if I can identify some systems, combination of processes and tools that might be able to help me reduce distractions or create clarity or maintain focus. A tool that I might want to apply is that territory plan. That would be an example. Another tool that I might want to apply would be a decision matrix. So a 2x2. We can come up with a couple of different 2x2s. We may know what our criteria are that are going to help inform a decision-making process so that when something comes our way, we can quickly triage it. We can say, is this something I need to take care of now? Is it something I can push off into later? Or is it something that I need to ignore? Maybe we go through like a red, yellow, green, or a triage type approach. So first part of our strategy is going to be to assess. Second part is going to be to determine, establish a desired state. And the third part is going to identify some processes and tools that we can work through. Well, now those are our actions. That's how we're going to bucket our work. Goal, actions. If you've seen the game plan, you know what I'm building out. The next thing is metrics. So metrics, what are the specific tasks that I'm going to do, specific things I'm going to do to make sure that I go through, first assess, desired, and then find systems. So on assess, I might want to use something like a time tracker. I want to understand where and when do all of those distractions come into place. I might want to track it immediately. So I get a note card and I have a checkbox and keep track of it immediately. Or I might want to reflect on whatever's happened in the last half hour or something like that. So maybe I want to implement a time tracker. So I want to keep track of certain things. The other thing I might want to do is look at my data. Now my data might include phone data. How many times am I getting an alert? Or how many times am I getting messages? Or how many times whatever that thing is. So I want to use a time tracker. I want to gather some data maybe from my system like my phone and double check that data on a daily basis, see where those distractions are taking place. Now on the desire state, I want to envision a future that might make sense. So I want to sit down, I want to create a space where I can envision a future and document what ideal looks like. I know what is, now let's document what ideal looks like. Know what my desire state looks like. You might find another task or two that you can go through to really move through this. And one of the cool things about this type of an objective is you can move through it really quickly. It's not time bound. We can move through this goal, this reduced distractions, probably inside a week and figure out what do we do, what things do we put in place, systems and tools, or processes and tools, systems, what systems do we put in place to help get there? And then as we get into, we've got our time, we've got our data, we've got our envisioning, our view of the future, what that thing looks like. Maybe we ask some other people about what good looks like if we've got a coach that we're working with. And then this third area from a task, remember these are little check boxes. The time tracker might be a daily thing. The data might be a daily thing. The future state might be a one-time thing this week. The what does good look like might be a one-time thing this week. And then now we get into, okay, to find those systems, we're probably going to need to search. We're going to need to do some research. Search, review, research. So we might want to set up some time. We might want to do 3 distinct searches for a process or a tool that will help reduce distraction. Or we might want to look at 3 distinct articles on how do people maintain focus or create clarity through lines of focus. Look at that territory plan thing as an example. We might want to interview some people to find out what they do, if they're really effective at maintaining focus and getting things done. We might want to interview them and get some information from them. So now I've got this checkbox of metrics that I can use to say, did I do each of the things on my list? If so, do I have enough information to move forward? Am I getting closer to my goal? If not, then if I did all of my work and I'm not getting any closer to the goal, maybe the thing is this work just didn't work for us, so I need to eliminate one of those strategies. This is what I mean by taking something big, breaking it down into smaller parts, strategy, so that we're not, if we only based our success on the strategy of assessing, we'd be in a lot of trouble because we wouldn't necessarily change things, or we'd be at risk that we would get into a situation where we weren't able to change things. But I have a goal, I have 3 distinct strategies, I then have a handful of tactics that align with those strategies, and I am able to be very, very focused on doing aligned work that help me get the thing accomplished that I want to get accomplished. The cool thing about something like this, you can build out a game plan like this for any goal, any objective that you want to accomplish. It could be as simple as getting a new job. It could be as simple as acquiring a new client. It could be as simple as building out a new line of business inside my organization. It can be simple. That does not mean it's easy. This stuff is hard. It is hard work. It is hard work because of these things, because all of the other distractions kind of get in the way, and you get into that mode of kind of what if. Well, let's change from what if to what's next. If you know somebody who would enjoy this, please share it with them. If you like this, please like it, leave a comment, do something there. If you have a question associated with it, please let me know. If you'd like to do this kind of work, either one-on-one or with your teams, and with your teams is where you can really make some interesting impact because you start to get everything up on the board. If you'd like to do something like this one-on-one or with your team, please give me a call. Sales is a thinking process. Business is a thinking process. Life is a thinking process. How are you thinking differently about yours? Thanks.